What's up, everybody? This is The Real Rendezvous, coming at you with a hot and fresh review. I'm Hunter. He's Brett. What's going on, bro?
Hi, Hunter. It's me, Brett.
You always have like the same hi every episode.
I really do.
It's your signature move.
Hi. I really do.
I would think that you were a clone or like an android or something had you not introduced yourself in such a manner.
That's really funny.
Anyways, doing all right, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Me too. Trying to hang in there, make it through life, as we always are.
As everyone is.
We're doing a review today, guys, for the movie Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
Yeah, this one's a long time coming. If you guys are fans of the show, you know that we talked this movie up big time before it came out. And then we just didn't make it there. We just didn't get to see it in theaters.
For whatever reason, we always have, life pops up. And me and Brett, sometimes we both work different jobs and swing shift. And it's kind of hard to get linked up to do, not just record, but go to the theater.
Yeah.
I said it like I was British. Go to the theater.
The theater.
Yeah, go to the movies. But anyways, as Brett said, this was one that I know I was looking forward to big time. I was a huge fan of Fury Road when it came out in 2015. And I know Brett thinks that Fury Road's a good movie.
Yes.
So we're going to review one of the entries in that saga today. I can't call it, it's not a sequel. It's more a prequel, if anything.
It is a prequel.
So this movie came out, at the end of May? I think it was May 30th.
I believe so, yes.
I don't know why I remember that, but I just feel like I do.
You counted down the days, and then every day past it as two.
Yeah, I counted down the days to it, then right past it.
All the days after.
So this movie was directed by George Miller. He did all the other Mad Max franchise films. This movie stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and Tom Burke. I was going to write some of the other actors down, but none of them are really in much else.
Yeah.
George Miller likes to cast like the same like goofballs and everything.
Yeah, Tom Burke, that was
Praetorian Jack.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
He has a very like distinct look about him. Mm-hmm. He kind of like has like a hair lip.
Well, I was gonna ask, is that just him? I thought that was a prosthetic for the movie.
No, you look at his IMDb page.
Yeah,
he literally has like a scar right there.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know that. I
Kinda
thought that
badass,
was...
dude.
No, that is sick. I thought that was something they did for Furiosa.
That, like, ever since you said, like, what Hideo Kojima said, like, I just can't, like, not quit thinking of that. That'd be so cool. Like, they should cast him in that. They'll never do it, though. Because Metal Gear Solid is already cinematic in what it is, anyway.
Well, they are making a Metal Gear movie.
Oh, are they really?
Oh, yeah.
No
shit. It's been in production hell for a while.
Really?
But they got Oscar Isaac as Snake.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
He'd do good too.
No, he's a solid pick.
See, the thing that I don't... Wow, we're here to review Furiosa, but we're going to talk for a second about how we feel
about Metal
Gear. A franchise that I have never played a single fucking game in the entire franchise. Anyways.
I got pretty far in Metal Gear 1 in the collection you got me.
I bought you the collection.
Yeah.
You need to get through that. I've always heard Snake Eater is the best one in the franchise.
Yeah, well, that's the one they're remaking, so obviously that's the one that people are...
But anyways, I really don't know if that's a good move or a good game franchise to try to adapt to film.
Yeah.
Because, A, it's already pretty cinematic. Like, it was heralded as like one of the first games to really care about cutscenes and being like a blockbuster film. But also, Hideo Kojima has like a really goofy sense of humor.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that people love about that franchise, I just don't think will translate to film at all. Especially if they try and do it, especially if they try to adapt it like true to form. Like, I don't know how to describe it because I've never played any of the games, but I have watched countless videos about the Metal Gear franchise. I don't know why. I do think it's a cool video game franchise. I just never played any of them.
I'm just not... I get that. There's a lot of stuff like that I'm like that with. For me, with Metal Gear specifically, I'm just so fucking bad at stealth games.
I'm not a big fan of stealth games either.
Metal Gear is one of those stealth games where it's like, you have to.
Yeah.
You cannot play it otherwise.
See, that's like when I played...
I'm just so bad at it, man. So like that's why I like at least in other stealth games that I'm bad at least if I fuck up, I can just guns blaze it.
Yeah.
Can't do that in most of the Metal Gears, as far as I can tell.
See, that's like in the Dishonored game franchise. They want you to stealth and like non-lethal everybody. Not me, dude. Whenever you get all your powers and stuff,
dude, I try. I suck at it so bad. Yeah. One of my favorite game franchises of all time, Assassin's Creed. I've gotten better at it, but I'm still like, I'll get like halfway through an encounter like full stealth, and then one guy sees me, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Now everyone has to die.
Your type of stealth game is Sly Cooper.
Yes, yes.
That's my kind of stealth. But anyways. So yeah, Tom Burke.
Yeah,
he's in the movie we're actually reviewing, Furiosa. This movie had a budget of $168 million. Its gross worldwide is $172 million. So barely made it back. Really not. That's not really making money back.
Dude, it flopped. I didn't even realize that it kind of flopped.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, I saw a lot of people saying the things that you hate on, like the World 4 nowadays, where they just don't have long theatrical runs.
I know, man. Dude, me and Melissa were talking about that heavy.
Yeah. So it suffered from that some. Also, I think that I know Mad Max is a pretty popular franchise, but to your casual moviegoers, I don't think they know exactly who Furiosa is. Mm-hmm. And if they just see a Mad Max Saga, they're probably like, I don't really know what that is.
Yeah, and I will say, and we'll get into it more when we like get into the nitty gritty of the review. I really don't think it was completely necessary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is something anyone really asked for or wanted.
Well, what I was going to say was, I know that a lot of people say Fury Road is so good because of how good of a character Furiosa is.
Which is very true.
Yeah, it is true. And I thought that it was kind of like George Miller was saying, oh, well, people love Furiosa so much in Fury Road, I'm going to make a film about her. And that actually wasn't the case. I just read yesterday that he had the script for this movie, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, already basically all wrote before Fury Road even came out.
Oh, yeah?
Because he wanted her to have a fleshed out story that he could believe in. And that's why he wrote her the way he did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
well, that's neat. I like that.
Yeah.
That actually, that gives it a new perspective for me.
That's cool.
I enjoy that.
And, yeah, and that just makes me wonder what else he has, like
in the vault.
In the filing cabinet for, this world.
Because Mad Max is George Miller's, like, baby. That's, like...
It's always been his thing.
Yeah.
And... it kind of set the standard, especially the Road Warrior in 1981. It set the standard for like post-apocalyptic, like desert battle type shit. This movie was scored in the soundtrack by Tom Hulkenberg. I don't know anything else he did. Anyways, that's kind of like all the stats I have for it. We kind of already talked about what this was about, but just to reiterate, if I can get my phone to open up. This movie takes place in the Mad Max universe. Let me get it pulled up here real quick. It is the origin story of the renegade warrior Furiosa before her encounter and team up with Mad Max in the events of Fury Road. I could have literally said that without reading it on here.
Yeah.
But anyways, like that says, it's almost like a biopic of Furiosa, because it starts out of her in her youth, where she was raised at. She's from the Green Place, which we learn about at the end of Fury Road, and her leaving the Green Place, how she gets to where she is at the beginning of Fury Road, working for Immortan Joe. I never realized what Praetorian meant, and I wanted to Google that the other night.
Yeah, I just assumed it was just like a made-up like rank in the universe. It's just like a thing you can be.
That's something I kind of like about George Miller, too. Like, he just makes up some goofy-ass words. Dude. He's like, your name will be Immortan Joe.
Yeah,
it's like, because I'm like immortal? It's like, no, you die at the end of this movie.
It's like, no, you're an Immortan. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Don't worry about it. It's you. That's what you are.
That's who you are, yeah.
And your son's name will be Scrotus and Rictus Erectus. What? So my son's names will be male genitalia oriented.
Hello, my name is Joseph. These are my son's balls and dick.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but he just like got some goofy ass shit, and I love it. But anyways, so we kind of broke down the plot there. I do love an origin story in this realm. And as we said already, Furiosa is kind of like the straw that stirs the drink in Fury Road, even though it is a Mad Max movie. I have no problems with the plot. I kind of like the way it broke down. I like the way that it showed how she got to where she is at the beginning of Fury Road. And I do like the development of world building because I told you in the video game that came out with Fury Road in 2015, 2016, it kind of like establishes further lore with Gastown, the Citadel, and the Bullet Farm. And this shows more of that world and what the people are like in each area. And then also it introduces us to the character of Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
And we'll get into him a little bit more here later. But I do like the plot and everything. I think it's kind of hard to fail with what Mad Max is.
I think the plot does exactly what it set out to do. It gives us, like you said, it's Furiosa's backstory leading into the events of Fury Road. Is it information we needed? I don't believe so. I'm glad. Like you said, I'm glad that he wrote it to like personally motivate himself to like know more about his characters. I think that's a good practice.
Yeah.
I don't know if we as an audience needed to know all of that. There was nothing that happened in the plot that made me like that I felt like I needed to know. Like if I had never watched this movie, I don't think I would lose anything about her character.
In particular, talking about, because you just kind of made me think of something, it's almost like this was made for the niche Mad Max like diehards.
Yeah.
The people that do want to know more about that universe and the realm and shit like that.
Yeah. And that aspect of it is cool. It is nice to know more about the world that they inhabit and the way that it works. But as a character piece, I just don't think, I didn't need it.
Yeah. And I know something that you didn't enjoy as much. I liked it. It delves a lot into her youth too.
Yes. Anya Taylor-Joy does not show up in this film until an hour through. This movie is 2.5 hours long, and half of this movie is a Dementus film.
Yeah.
This movie should have been called Dementus / Furiosa Mad Max Saga.
Whenever I was going through who starred in it, I was waiting for you to say, after I said Anya Taylor-Joy, you were going to be like, yeah, just a little bit.
I almost did, but I was going to...
Did you really?
I really did. I was this close, but I kept it in. I was going to be nice.
I was waiting for you to do it.
I was going to be nice. So the first hour of this film is pretty much only about Dementus.
Yeah.
And Dementus' character in this film, the role that he fulfills, he is a leader of this band of raiders, and one of his raider convoys finds the green place, and they kidnap Furiosa, and they bring her back to their little desert camp, and they're like, dude, this little girl comes from a place of abundance. Place of abundance. But she won't tell them where it is. And then her mom comes to rescue her, and Dementus, in retaliation for them not telling him where the green place is, kills her mother in front of her, and then keeps her as like a pet.
Yeah.
He keeps her shackled up in a cage on their little escapades. And like even little girl Furiosa is like not like her screen time after she is kidnapped. We only follow Dementus and his inner workings and his plans to upgrade his status, right? So like the first hour of this film is about Dementus. It is just set up for who he is and what he does.
See, I think it's trying to establish why he is the worst guy in a realm of nothing but bad guys. Yeah. Really.
Which in the first few scenes of us meeting him, we got.
Yeah.
And I don't think we needed that extra hour of movie to just keep hanging out with him and just him.
This is what's going to happen now, dude. Like, we got like, it was a Furiosa movie, but really most of the plot was about Dementus. So in a few years, we're going to get a Dementus movie. It's going to be all Dementus, his upbringing.
Yeah, and we just keep... But the entire first hour of that movie is spent with his false father figure.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a movie about him, and it's just an endless domino effect.
So... we can go ahead and just jump right into the characters and stuff because we basically just talked about them anyway. Mm-hmm. I do think Chris Hemsworth crushes it.
Chris Hemsworth is having the time of his fucking life.
You can totally tell.
He is having such a good time, and he is giving it his all.
Yeah.
I said to Hunter, people online like to act like these performers are like when they're in the superhero machine. They're like forced into those movies and they don't like doing them. And that might be true for some of them. But a lot of them do speak kindly about those movies after that. I don't think anyone would come out and be like, yeah, that shit sucked. Which is basically what Dakota Johnson did with Madam Web, which I thought was funny.
She had the best press tour of all time.
But she's like, what the fuck is a Spider-Man? I don't know. I got paid. Leave me alone. But most of the main Marvel actors speak very kindly about those movies. However, there is something to be said about a post-Marvel performance from these people, right? So, like, after Robert Downey Jr. was done with Iron Man, he did Oppenheimer, and he just lets his nuts hang in that fucking movie.
Yeah, he's great in that movie.
And then now, Chris Hemsworth got a break from being Thor, and he goes and does Furiosa, and he is just having so much fun, man.
Yeah.
And doing a great job. I love his big, goofy, fake nose that was not necessary at all, but is funny. And I love the accent. I don't know if that's his natural accent or if it's like an exaggerated version of his natural accent.
I don't know. That's a good question because he is Australian.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure it's a little bit exaggerated. I feel like all the accents in Mad Max are a little exaggerated.
Yeah.
But he does a great job. Dementus is a really... I complained about spending too much time with him in the first hour of the movie, but... It is saved ever so slightly by the fact that he's just fun to watch.
Yeah, he is a fun character.
I love his energy. I love the way he carries himself.
One may say he's demented.
He is. He is. But he's... I don't know. I don't even know. I don't have the words to describe how I feel about it properly, but it's a really good performance.
There are times where he says things and does things in the movie that almost justify the way he acts. And, I mean, he's still a bad dude. Like, he still does some fucked up shit.
Dude, his whole monologue at the end, which I don't know how much of it you remember.
Nah, not much. Not much.
But it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
He turns around and he's like, I prefer when the executor is away from me. Adds to the tension. Every second is fear of when you're going to pull the trigger. And then she's like hitting him and he's like, we can do this all day. I don't care. What you're looking for from me and these actions is something I cannot give you. Because he's like,
that's pretty good.
He's like, you can't torture me. It's great. He plays it amazingly. So, Chris Hemsworth is an absolute standout in this movie.
Yeah, he definitely gets the top notch of who does the best job here. Also, I do think Anya Taylor-Joy, for what time she is given, does do a pretty good job. The lookalike aspect of things I thought was pretty good.
Yes.
She, whenever it was first announced that she was going to be portraying Furiosa, I thought, she doesn't look like Charlize Theron at all.
No.
But with that said, some makeup, especially heavy black oil on the forehead and just a shaved head, it's not hard to not look the same.
She looks good. And I love her, and I guess this might get more into like the production design side of things, but her prosthetic arm looks great.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really good. I love the design of it. I love the way that it functions, and just like as a piece of because I'm 90% sure most of it was CG.
Yeah,
or maybe she did have like a physical.
There were a few
thing
scenes
that she
where
was
it
holding,
looked real,
but it's really solid. Really great work on that.
And I also love how they established to the lore of how she lost her arm.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of a romantic connection with Praetorian Jack. And I do like the fact that they didn't go down that path.
Yeah.
We want to maintain Furiosa being this hardened, badass chick that doesn't take no shit from anybody, doesn't need a guy. And she loses her arm at the same time of her losing this potential romantic partner.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gives some weight to what, her character has in the or other movie, Fury Road.
You can almost look at it as she's lost two pieces of herself.
Yeah, it's symbolic to her.
Also, on the subject of Praetorian Jack, because we were talking about characters and we didn't mention him, he's fine. He's really just kind of there.
Yeah.
He doesn't really serve a huge purpose other than to, inspire her face paint.
Well, I think that's what the Praetorians that drive Fury Road have to wear.
Yeah, but I just that's what we were kind of riffing on it a little bit ago. What I don't get his place. What is a Praetorian? What do they do? Why is he here?
So, and that was before I checked out in the last 30 minutes of the film.
To my understanding, they're smugglers. That's what the rig is for.
They don't
fill
smuggle.
It with stuff.
They don't smuggle. They travel back and forth between the three big cities of this wasteland. They're based out of the Citadel because they work for Immortan Joe, and they go to the Bullet Farm. They go to Gastown, and they make trade.
Okay.
They take the produce to these places. In return, they receive bullets.
That's what the cabbages were for. They're okay.
And then they receive guzzoline, as they call it. They don't call it gasoline.
I know, because it's so funny, because it is Gastown, but they get guzzoline.
Yeah, we won't be calling it gasoline. Nobody says that.
I guess Guzztown is not nearly as appealing.
I don't know. I think it has a certain ring to it. That's badass.
Guzztown?
Yeah, they should have called it that. Just anytime you can put a Z in any word, it's cool. But anyways, I agree with you. Praetorian Jack didn't have a whole lot of lines or didn't have a whole lot of screen time, didn't really have a whole lot of anything.
Praetorian Jack was added to this movie so that we could have a Max stand-in, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit. That is what he felt like to me. They were like, all right, we're doing Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, but we still need a little bit of that Max in there. And so they gave us Praetorian Jack to fill that.
I think he served his purpose as why she learned how to be a Praetorian. Also, why she ended up becoming a Praetorian, because she was his first hand. Yeah. She was his dog man on his rig.
Yeah.
So I think his character served the purpose of what he was supposed to be.
Now that I understand it more, I do feel that way.
Something else that I think is just always great about these movies, though, and this goes all the way back to the original and The Road Warrior, George Miller always has such interesting, goofy background characters. All of the war boys are fucking cool.
Yeah. Dude, the Octo Lord or whatever.
Octoboss. Yeah. Who was that guy? Dude?
Yeah, what the fuck was he doing?
His hat was cool.
He was sick as hell, though.
Yeah. Just all these weird characters, weirdly named. You don't know where their inspirations come from for the way they dress or the way they act. It's all really interesting to me. I love, like I said, and that goes all the way back to the first ones, to the original trilogy. I like all that. I think it's creative and cool and world building.
Hunter is a big world building guy. Hunter loves a good universe.
Just this one specifically. Well, there's 3 or 4 of them I really love. So I love this one. I love the Alien franchise's futuristic perspective of things. And I could probably think of 2 or 3 more, but I'm not going to, because we're talking about Furiosa. As far as the setting and where it's at, same place it's always been, the Australian outback and the dystopian future. It's pretty sand.
Do we know what happened to the world?
I don't.
As to why Mad Max is the way that it is?
Me, the guy that just said how much I love this world, does not know.
You do not know what happened.
Never looked into fan theories or anything.
It's a wasteland.
Not a clue.
That's fair.
But anyway,
someone in the comments tell us what the fuck happened.
This actually was filmed in Australia, though.
Yeah. Or the other ones not usually.
I think most of the desert scenes and stuff in Fury Road was filmed in what's that country just north of Egypt, Morocco, I think.
I couldn't tell you.
A desert area in Egypt.
Yeah.
It wasn't filmed in Australia.
I gotcha.
But this one was. I looked it up yesterday, which is cool. And also, as Brett just said, I love the world building. I love what Gastown looks like. It just looks like a giant, it just fumes coming out of smokestacks everywhere, pipes and everything.
Is George Miller Australian?
I'm going to assume.
I mean, it would
because if all this shit is made in Australia,
it would be weird if he wasn't. But also, I don't know.
It's like, nah, bro. He's born and bred in Massachusetts.
Yeah, he just loves Australia.
Yeah, he's got to be from Australia. But anyways, I don't have a whole lot to like palaver about on the setting.
Yeah, there's not much to say about the setting that we haven't touched on in like other parts of the discussion. It's Mad Max. It's the Mad Max world. It looks like Mad Max. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
it says Australian film director, screenwriter, producer.
I was gonna say, like, I'm 90% sure that he has to be, but
you see what this guy looks like, dude?
No, it would be really funny if he wasn't. Oh wow.
Yeah, he looks not like a guy that would direct Mad Max.
I disagree. He does look like the kind of guy that would come up with a character named Immortan Joe, though.
Here he does. Check him out. He's got the tinted shades and the leather jacket.
No, he's kind of a badass.
Yeah, I don't think I'd mess with George Miller.
Yeah, no, that motherfucker made Happy Feet, dude.
Oh, you know what else he's directed? Babe, Pig in the City.
Hell yeah.
The sequel to Babe. But anyways, so yeah, George Miller, like pretty cool looking dude. That's him back in the day with a mustache.
Oh, wow.
With Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
The OG man.
He looks like Ron Jeremy.
Whoa. There's Tina Turner. Anyways. So yeah, you were talking earlier about the way things were production.
Yes.
What did you say? I can't remember.
It's a production design.
The production
design?
Just,
we can lump that in. Just the look.
Yeah, the look of things.
Because this movie has a very unique visual identity to it.
We already talked about the setting, how it looks, and the set design, the characters. What do you think of everybody's suits?
They got drip.
Nah, I think the costumes are cool.
The Mad Max world has drip, especially going back again to Octoboss. He's I love his helmet getup.
Yeah, so this character,
and his giant fucking octopus kite that he drives with at all times.
This character that Brett's talking about, he's like kind of like a sub boss, like a mini boss. He's an optional boss battle.
He's like Dementus's like right hand man, sort of.
Yeah,
Dementus, you scum.
Yeah. He like nobody else is, you know.
Yeah, right.
He wears like this all black like SWAT getup.
Yeah.
And then he has this giant black helmet that has like horns coming off of it.
Yeah, keep in mind nothing about what this guy looks like has anything to do with octopuses.
Yeah.
It's just his fucking balloon.
Yeah, but like Brett said, everywhere he drives around, he has this giant octopus balloon, black octopus balloon. You said it looks like one of the Matrix alien things.
Yeah, like the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he drives around with this thing. And then also like Chris Hemsworth's character, Dementus, always has like something goofy going on. He wears a parachute for like most of the movie.
He has a parachute that he uses as a cape, which is kind of badass.
I think the reason why I use it is because like close to the end of the movie there, whenever he like makes his own little like hut out of it. I think that's kind of why he has it.
And then he's got so for the first hour that's all about him. He's just got like this harness that has the parachute cape on it. After that, we see him a little bit older. He's got this like ringmaster's vest.
Yeah.
But throughout all of it, he has this like kit bashed teddy bear Barbie doll chained to his crotch at all times.
Did you notice how many fucking people had cod pieces in this movie?
I did not.
Everybody had something covering up their
stay
junk.
Protected.
Like
you gotta protect your scrotus and your rictus erectus.
Yeah. If you don't, then you're Dementus. But people had like skulls on their crotches and like bullets hanging in front of their crotches. Like, what about bullet farmers?
Dude, I was just gonna say the bullet farmer fit goes hard.
Yeah, with that hood.
Yeah, with the hood made of bullets. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, but the other guy, the big fat one, I can't remember what his character's name was.
I think his name was Maneater.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
he had like a fake gold nose,
exposed nipples that were chained together.
Yes. He had a codpiece.
He did. His codpiece was noticeable.
Yes.
And again, it's like, what does he do? Who are you, man? What are you doing here?
I just think all the characters. And Immortan Joe looks sick too.
Oh yeah,
he's got like a big like Darth Vader
Immortan Joe always looks
breathing
sick.
apparatus.
The current Fortnite season is Mad Max themed, but they did not do an official Mad Max crossover.
That's so weird.
But I know, right? But the tier 100 skin for the battle pass is just straight up Immortan Joe.
That's so crazy because they get like rights to everything else that's ever existed.
Everything in the world, but then they do a Mad Max season, and their big collab for the season is Magneto and the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wow.
What weird choices.
That's really funny.
And Metallica, which the Metallica makes sense because it's like the hard rock of the wasteland, you know?
Yeah.
But, and also... Another thing they stole from Mad Max that's not an official collab, there's an emote where you get strung up on an like a truck bed with speakers, and they literally use the flaming guitar
player guy.
Yes.
No shit.
Yeah, so not him, but like any of your characters can do the emote where you're rocking out with the flaming guitar. It's like, why did you not just call him and get the rights to use the actual stuff?
Yeah, like they probably say yes. Everybody that does makes all kinds of money.
I would have loved to play as Max in Fortnite.
Right.
But yeah, super weird. But I will say, watching the car scenes in Furiosa, it was really cool because it was like, that's literally like what you can do this season.
Yeah.
Like that's literally like how it plays out. It was kind of neat.
Well, that's another thing that I'm going to jump into getting away. Okay, just to close, I do love all the character designs. I think they're really cool. Everybody's dripping. Everybody looks cool. Everybody looks dirty. This movie looks like it stinks. It looks like it smells like BO and rotting animals.
This movie looks like it smells bad and is 200 degrees to the touch.
Oh my god. But also the action sequences. Mm-hmm. This is one area that it kind of like, how are you going to follow up with Fury Road to begin with? But as Brett said, a lot of the opening of this movie, the first hour, there's a lot of character building for the wrong character, and it's kind of boring.
You're coming because you fought me on that when I said it when we were watching it.
Well, I think in general people would say that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the world building. I enjoyed the lack of action. That didn't bother me. I just know that a lot of people would probably say, "How are you going to follow up with Fury Road with a movie where they don't have anything going on for the first hour?" I thought it was necessary, but I know that you had qualms with it.
I did. Well, it's not. There's no qualms with the lack of action. That wasn't I don't care about that.
You were mad that it was all about the Dementus.
It was just all about that's literally it. We did not need to spend that much time with him.
Well, see, I just didn't have an issue with it.
I got his deal immediately, and I wanted to watch a movie about Furiosa, and I spent an hour of it watching a movie about Dementus.
Well, see, I didn't have an issue with it because, whenever we watch the Batman, we love Joker, Like, not the Batman, but whenever we watch a Batman movie, 1989's Batman.
And I will say, maybe if it was split up more, right? Maybe if a lot of the Dementus stuff was played through flashbacks, right, intertwined with the Anya Taylor-Joy stuff, instead of being in chronological order, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal, because then you wouldn't feel just how much screen time Dementus has, right? And that's what, the reason we can spend more time with other characters in other movies is because it's split up, Like, The Dark Knight does not spend an hour just... imagine if the bank heist in the opening of The Dark Knight was an hour long.
Yeah, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it's not, because we got his deal, and now we can move on. And then check back in with him sometimes, but we don't need to see every second of that happening, in my opinion.
Well, the bank heist was that... Dude, that's peak. The bank heist sequence in The Dark Knight is one of the best comic book sequences of all time. So I don't know if you can compare that to Dementus kidnapping somebody and then just seeing them being in a cage over a 10-15 year span. It's kind of bouncing around a little bit. But I digress. I don't dislike the opening. As I already said ad nauseum, I love the world building going on with this movie. Whenever it comes to action sequences, whenever it does ramp up in the second half of the movie, I think they're fucking awesome. I think the entire sequence of what you see a Praetorian do when they go and exchange goods, if they get attacked by raiders, that's all sick. And I'm assuming watching it, that's worst case scenario. That doesn't always happen whenever they're on the road. But that entire thing was badass. All the different things that Praetorian Jack had on his rig are so Rube Goldberg goofy and creative, but they work. I was a little bit disappointed when the Octoboss died with the Bomby Knocker. So the Bomby Knocker is this giant spinning wheel mounted on the back of his rig. that has like flails chained to it, and this dude gets like sucked into it and gets turned to mush. But yeah, I loved all that. And whenever they were at the bullet farm, as things were like spiraling down, because that's how the bullet farm is. It's like all inside of a giant like gulf. Mm-hmm. And as they were driving down through there, that was all really awesome. I love those action sequences. I thought they were great.
My favorite action scene was probably when Dementis was doing his assault on Gastown with the fake war boys.
I got you.
I like that a lot.
That was a good scene,
that
too.
That whole segment was really... I like again, when they're not buying it, because the whole plan was to make it look like the war boys were being attacked by Dementis' men, but the war boys were Dementis' men, and they wanted Gastown to open the gates to the war boys, thinking they were like their people, but then they do an assault from the inside. But then the people of Gastown, they're not buying it. They're not buying it. We need to make it look real. Well, then we'll make it real.
Yeah.
And then they start killing their own men. Yeah. And that's when Octobos is like, Dementis, you scum!
Yeah.
But it works, and they get in. And I like that. I like that segment a lot.
It was crafty.
Yeah. In terms of the other action scenes, it's kind of like, and again, I was telling Alyssa, and I feel so bad. But I just didn't care that much. You know, it's one of those things where it's like the spectacle is nice. It's cool. Big trucks. I like them. I've never been a huge car guy.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you were talking about how much you love the game. I don't like that game that much. I played it, and it didn't click with me.
Crazy.
Right? So, and also it comes down to and this is a problem also throughout the movie, which comes with any prequel, right? Like, I know nothing's going to happen to her.
Right, yeah.
I know she's fine, and I don't really care enough about Praetorian Jack to care if anything happens to him. So now I know that my two main characters, or at least the one that I care about, is completely fine. Everyone else is just cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I already am not super invested in the story that I'm watching play out. So, to me, all the action scenes are just spectacle.
Yeah.
Right? And I need a little bit more of than that. And also, it's just the car stuff. I don't know. Something about all of it just didn't quite hit for me the way I wish it did.
If I have one complaint about the action sequences, maybe it's just that, you know, I was like really sleepy and I wasn't like able to completely lock in. But I feel like there was a lot more CGI used for these action sequences than in Fury Road. Mm-hmm. Fury Road was so awesome. Is
fantastic.
Fury Road was so awesome because it was real people doing real shit.
The action scenes in Fury Road are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are some of the most insane stunts you're ever going to see. And you really didn't see that in this. There was a lot of reliance on CGI.
And I think Fury Road being as good as it was and how much I liked it, and a lot of the problems that didn't exist in that movie being very prevalent in this one also like was very disappointing to me.
Yeah. And that's one thing too. George Miller, I think he's a good director. I think he understands what kind of product he wants to put out there. Mm-hmm. At the same time, this one does kind of feel like his hand was a little bit forced. Like, oh, so they do love Furiosa. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I got this like kind of niche script, this kind of little bit of backstory I could, you know, flesh out and give to the people. And as you said, it's kind of like, it's not Mad Max. It's not Max.
Yeah, well, and it's not even that, because I like Furiosa as a character, and I like some of the stuff that she does in this movie, but most of the time when she is on screen, she's not doing any of the stuff that we liked her for in the first place.
I do think she got the Fury Road Max treatment, whereas, like, how many lines did she have in this movie?
Not many. Yeah. Not many, which is fine. But again, she just doesn't do that much. And the stuff that she is doing, I just don't care about that much. Yeah. I just was not invested in anything that was happening.
Yeah. You checked out.
I did. I checked out because I was like, it's not a story I really cared about to begin with. You know, I like the concept of like, oh, Furiosa before Fury Road. It's like, all right, we'll see. And then immediately I was like, oh, I don't really care that much.
With that said, the way that George Miller directed this movie was just kind of the same way that he usually does things. I know that you said it was really bothering you.
I wanted to touch on
cinematography was.
Just the way this movie looks is just not. I I really did not enjoy it. And again, it's one of those things where it's like a lot of the problems visually that I have with this movie are not problems that existed in Fury Road, right? Like, and that fact is actually like honed in even more because at the end of the movie they play clips from Fury Road.
Yeah.
And you see that like that's not what Fury Road looked like.
Yeah.
And this one does, and it's not a look I enjoy. Like I was talking about earlier, it's a very unique visual identity, but it's not one that I enjoyed watching for the entire runtime. So to give more detail to that, just a few things. One, everything looks fake. Even things that I'm 90% sure were not CGI look fake. And it's a very weird like dichotomy of like, I know that this should be practical, and it does not feel like it was, and that's weird. It looks weird.
Well, like I said, I do think they had an over-reliance on CGI.
Yeah, and then the stuff that is clearly CGI, honestly, I'm so sorry, looked like shit. There were scenes where like you could tell that the cars were entirely CGI, and like the lighting on the models wasn't right. Like they looked like a poorly rendered video game.
See, I want to disagree with a little bit of that. Like
to me,
the one sequence where I can't remember who it was. I think it was Dementus's gang were running. They were driving and running from War Boys. They came to that ledge of that plateau and stopped, and you could tell all those vehicles were not real. They were CGI. But I almost feel like he made the CGI look like it was like stop motion or a miniature or something. It looked different, man.
I think you're giving a little too much credit where it's not quite there.
This is something that I noticed in Godzilla -1 that we never even talked about. Damn. Shout out Godzilla -1.
Kaylee really wants an episode on that, so we're going to keep it in the vault.
That's a great movie. But there was a few sequences in Godzilla -1 that I noticed that they were making things look like it was filmed with a miniature or something.
And you said that, and I just don't know if I agree.
It just
I think the CG in Godzilla -1 is extremely solid all the way through.
Well,
I think maybe there are a few scenes where they like kind of CG it to make it look like a guy in a suit.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that people are giving Godzilla -1 a little bit too much credit, and people are taking away too much credit from this movie, whereas they kind of are just meeting in the middle slightly.
I don't know, man.
I don't think the CGI is like...
There was not a second in Godzilla -1 where I did not believe that was a fucking dinosaur.
Well, like you... And then, he's not a dinosaur.
Well, I know. But then to bring it back to Furiosa, they can't even get a fucking dog to look right.
I knew you were hung up on the dog.
They couldn't get a dog on set?
Yeah,
and then just CGI the leg? Why was the whole dog awful? He was shiny, dude. He was fucking shiny. That looked bad,
but like, I just disagree about like the whole... cars looking terrible thing, and
not all the time, but just in the scenes where you could tell they were fake cars, you could tell.
I'm just disappointed that it was CGI instead of using practical. I didn't think that the CGI looked inherently bad. It's just, why did you take that route to begin with? Whenever your calling card is this movie's full of insane stunts, like Fury Road, and then the original trilogy too had a lot of really great stunts. Of course, computer graphics were not the same then as they are now, so the option wasn't there.
I do think movie budgets being so inflated nowadays is sort of killing production value.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
it's not just movies either, because what were you saying about Secret Invasion? It just looks terrible.
Yeah, it's like where is all that money? Where is all that money going? If it's still gonna look this bad?
Yeah, I agree on that. So like we can come to the same conclusion, just different paths to get there, I'd say.
I guess. I just and another thing, anytime anything in this movie is on fire,
the
looks
fire
goofy. The fire looks like shit.
The fire effects look
which
bad.
Is not a problem in Fury Road, because when something was on fire in Fury Road, they just set that shit on fire.
Well, like whenever, specifically at the beginning of the movie, whenever they put the torch to her mother, it looked bad. Like, I didn't like that.
Dude, during the rig scene, I think the entire first rig fight with Praetorian Jack, I don't think anything in that scene looks right. There is not a single frame of that entire sequence I think you could pull where everything looks right.
Damn, man.
And that's what I'm saying about like some of the stuff that like I'm pretty sure was practical, still just having this weird artificial nature to it. Like it's so hard to describe. You would have to watch the movie to try like understand what I'm saying when I say that.
I have to disagree. Like, I just don't think it looks as bad as you're making it out to be.
Well, I'm okay, but again, that's why I'm saying like the thing with like things that I know were probably practical looking artificial. It's not that it looks bad. It's just weird. It's weird to my brain. It just does not sit right in my eyes.
Like you were saying too, the way it is filmed, and we brought this up several times when we watched it.
Yeah, it's like in like 0.25 speed.
He like speeds things up for some reason to give them a certain weird kind of effect.
Yeah,
and also just the way that he shoots things is kind of weird.
Which is something that was like kind of in Fury Road, but not as heavy as it is in this one.
Well, I think that it was not as heavy in Fury Road because there was a lot more things done practically on set. So, anyways, that's how we feel about that. That's okay though. I like us to have a little bit of
I know, right? Like I don't mind disagreeing on some things vaguely.
I still think that in general this movie looks good. You can tell that it did have a budget. I just wish it would have been spent in different ways.
I will say this movie looks strange at best.
Okay.
Like not bad, just weird.
That makes sense because Fury Road looked kind of weird, and if you watch the original ones, just the way he films things is weird. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up all of our things.
That was most of the thoughts.
Do you want to go ahead and give your?
Yeah, we can close it out. Oh, we do get a Max cameo. We do. I said when the movie started, when I thought I was going to like it more than I did, I said that if Max doesn't show up at least once in a cameo, then it's capped from ever getting a 10.
Which is
little did I know. It wasn't going to be very close in the first place.
I was like disappointed that was all we got was that little cameo.
No, I liked it. I think Max's integration was perfectly done. That's how I would have done it. I'm glad that he's just like they just show it to it. I don't think like timeline wise, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't think.
It's basically the opening.
Neat.
It's basically the opening scene of Fury Road.
Yes, which is what I'm saying does not make any sense for where he was in the movie. Right. So I definitely don't think it was supposed to be that. It was definitely just an homage to that, so that if you didn't recognize him right away, if you had seen Fury Road, you could make that connection, and be like, oh, so that's Max. Because I did look it up after the fact. It was not Tom Hardy. It was his stunt double though. It was Tom Hardy's stunt double from Fury Road, but it was not Tom Hardy in that scene. Not that it mattered, because again, he kind of just looked like a little CGI action figure, man.
I didn't think so. It was a guy standing there.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like even things that were done practically just have that weird artificial sheen to them.
Let me give you an example of how you were saying you feel this movie looks. It just has a weird look to you, and it's off-putting for you. This is what hangs me up on The Crow. Like, The Crow has this weird...
The first one?
Yeah, the original.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I've never watched it.
And I agree with you. I get what you're saying.
It's just got this weird visual, like, look to it.
A lot of matte paintings. A lot of stuff looks like matte paintings.
Well, a lot of movies...
movie, which most of it is, I'm pretty sure.
A lot of movies I even like matte paintings, kind of, but a lot of movies in, like, the early 90s have it almost gives this, like, soap opera type vibe, like the way it's... Have you ever watched a soap opera? The way a soap opera is filmed, the way it looks,
which you said in the review,
is just weird.
Yeah,
and that's how The Crow was.
And I didn't see that in The Crow, so I guess I get where you're coming from when you're saying you're not seeing what I'm seeing, and I wasn't seeing what you were seeing.
There's just something there.
But that's what's nice about it, right? Yeah. Everyone experiences film differently.
Correct. All right, what are you giving it?
All right, closing thoughts here. It didn't click with me. Yeah. I would never sit here and tell you that Furiosa is a bad movie, but it is not a movie I was interested in, right? For all intents and purposes, it's good. It was, for the right audience, which they found, it's probably everything you would want out of a Furiosa movie. But for me personally, there just wasn't enough substance there that I could, like, nothing hooked me.
Right.
It did not click for me. The way it clicked for a lot of other people. But with that said, again, it's not a quality problem. It's just I personally, it wasn't for me, you know?
Well, I mean, it's not just you either. The reviews in general, I've noticed, have been mixed.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't look into it. Because I didn't really hear much about it after it had released. I didn't hear any talk about it. Like I said, I didn't even know that it had done so poorly at the box office.
Yeah.
So for that reason, and the reasons I had already stated about not really caring about the story and all that, I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Oh, that's better than I thought you were.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, it's not a bad movie. I'm just personally not interested in that story that they had and wanted to tell.
Yeah, I can.
So that is a perfectly. I will never watch it again, but I would never not recommend it to someone.
I can respect that, and like I said, nobody was giving just over the moon reviews for this in general that I looked at. With that said, I really enjoyed this movie. For the most part, there was some things I didn't care for about it. It is nowhere near the film that Fury Road is.
No, not even close.
Fury Road, I feel like you're just going to see it on so many like best action movies lists. A lot of that just from the stunt work alone. But I enjoyed this movie. As I already said, I've always loved this world. It's one of the most interesting in film. I like the way George Miller directs. I like the world building. I like the characters in this movie. The things that I don't enjoy about it don't hang me up a ton, which we kind of talked about. I know I kind of defended the use of CGI, but with that said, I would rather it be the stunts that we see in the first movie. I also kind of don't enjoy the fact that the actions, it's very action-centric in the second half. The pacing is off. We never even talked about that.
Yeah.
You're a big pacing guy.
I am. And I kind of touched on it with wishing the Dementis stuff was either shorter or chopped up a little bit more. That is another thing that put me off from this movie. There is no reason this movie should have ever been 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely not a single reason it needed to be that long.
I feel like so many movies nowadays, for some reason, just want to be longer than they need to be.
And they just don't need to be.
Yeah.
And that's not coming from someone that thinks all movies should be that short, but it's just certain movies don't need to be that long.
Yeah. With all that said, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going way higher.
No.
I thought we were going to be way farther off from each other.
That's what I'm saying. I think that we really Like,
we have different opinions on it, but those opinions result in the same, end.
That's what I mean. Like, with the whole CGI thing, we both kind of agree, but we just take totally opposite paths to get there. So 7.5 out of 10 for me. If I was watching, if I was going to have a Mad Max movie night, would love to watch it, but
I honestly think I'd skip it.
I don't think this is one I'll be clamoring for on digital or Blu-ray or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do hope that...
Now, I will say... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Good.
It's just a thought that I had when we watched it that I forgot to bring up anywhere else. I will say, had we seen it in theaters, I might like it a little more, because then the spectacle would have been more in your face as opposed to watching it home. Because it definitely is to me personally, it definitely is a style over substance. But the style just already didn't quite work for me. Yeah. But maybe have it, being in that theater setting. I genuinely believe just seeing a movie in theaters can do wonders for the experience. Yeah. So I to that point, I will. Had we seen it in theaters, I might be singing a slightly different tune. Maybe not too big of a tune, because I usually do go for story, first above all when I'm thinking about critiques. And like I said, it just didn't grab me. But that's just something I wanted to throw out there.
Okay, man, that's cool. 6.5 out of 10 for you. 7.5 out of 10 for me. We went down totally different paths, but somehow rounded out. We
rounded out in the end,
just about the same spot.
Yeah.
That was
perfectly average.
Pretty much, man. This is just. It was here. It came and went, and had a couple cool things about it. I can see this being 5 to 10 years from now on Joe Blow movies. Have you ever watched any of their things on YouTube?
No.
It's a channel I subscribe to, and they're just they have some cool videos, but they also do they just always go and find a movie that had one cool thing that happened in it from 8 to 10 years ago, and they'll be like, why is this movie not rendered as a cult classic? Watch our 12-minute video to tell us about it. I hope nobody listening here works for Joe Blow Movies on YouTube.
Yeah, damn, Dragon. I'm starting beef, man.
No beef.
Dude gets 200 subscribers and he thinks he can start coming for people.
Hey, I'm subscribed to you guys. I watch a lot of your stuff. But anyways, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. That's what we think about it.
That's what we think about it. Let us know what you think about it if you've seen it.
Comment that shit.
Comment that shit. We love comments. There's 200 of you guys. There's no excuse for us not to have it. At minimum, 5 comments per video.
Yeah, so let us know what you think. I guess that's it, bro.
I guess that's it. All right, I'll get you guys out of here. If you'd like to follow us anywhere at all, you can find us at Real Rendezvous, all one word, spelled as it always has been. And we love you.
We love you. We do.
Bye.
Later, guys.